Alright, this is my first YouTube video, kind of. So, I work for a media company, all for one human being, right? We produce a lot of content. And on the other side of that, we have the revenue side of the business, which is where we can help people more in depth to grow their business and overcome different things. And long story short, I started just over 2 years ago as a very, very junior editor. The guy who hired me, I remember going to his apartment and looking over his shoulder as he was showing me how to add text to video in Premiere Pro. And that's how I started really editing. And so I started off junior editor, editing short form, right, all reels and shorts and stuff like that. And then about a year later, after lots of very low view counts, I moved to long form editor, YouTube editor, and I was super stoked for that because to me, I love the creative aspect of video and the emotional waves you can put people through by watching a video and getting their attention. And I was excited to take on that as a long form editor. And about 9 or 12 months after that, I moved into the channel owner of the YouTube channel for the company or the individual we did content for. And it's been one heck of a ride. Just over 2 years now, started editing, and now I'm basically running a YouTube channel. So I have multiple editors I work with, a thumbnail designer, script writer, ideation, all that type of stuff. A few different people. And obviously what I do all day long is content, right? It's what I eat for breakfast, YouTube analytics. And when it comes to creating my own content, I never talk to the camera. Not something I've ever done. And obviously, working in the media space for a long time, especially creating content for one individual that all he does is create content, right? Obviously through his team, but puts out so much content out there to inspire people, motivate, share beliefs, and help people. You get that reminder daily that you're not doing that, and you're missing on the opportunity to help people. And to also just document your journey of life, because everyone's going through a different journey. And anyways, for the last year or so, it's been a mental battle in the sense of, should I create content, should I not? What should it be about? Who am I making it for? Am I making it for myself? Am I making it for others? Am I making it for my younger self? I don't think I'm good enough to talk about things yet. Like imposter syndrome, oh my God, I'm not qualified. I'm just not qualified. And, over the last year or so, I was doing a lot of Instagram stories, right? Talk to my camera and just post on my stories, but then it's gone for 24 hours, right? So I don't need to see it again. And we do that for a month, and stop for a month, then start again for a month, then stop for a month, and haven't done it in a long time. And then finally, a few weeks ago, I was like, all right, this is it. So I pulled together transcripts of creators I like, right? Their storytelling and their openings. And I made my own branding editing style Notion document before I even shot a video. Like what type of font and colors and effects and all that stuff before I even shot a video. Put that together with ChatGPT, went back and forth a lot of who am I making videos for, and basically did a brand outline of who I wanted to make content for, what was my reason and the ways that I could help and provide value to some extent, and did all that. And then I went to the studio where I work, set up fancy cameras, fancy lights, fancy microphones, edited it, shot it, and then edited the whole thing on a fancy computer, and I posted it. And it was 2 minutes of me saying the reason I wanted to make a YouTube video or a YouTube channel. And the reason I'm sitting here filming this is because that video was a load of hot garbage. Not in the sense that everything I've said was a lie, but it definitely wasn't the complete truth. And basically it was a 2-minute intro video of me saying that the whole reason for me making a channel is I want to do it for my kids, right? My future kids. I don't have kids, comma yet. And I wanted to have something to show them, which isn't false. However, the true reason is very selfish, and it's for myself to look back on, to document the journey. When tough times come, I have something to look back on to see how much progress I've made and how the world around me has changed. And yeah, so I posted that video, and then 2 weeks go by, and then a few people that saw me work on it initially were like, hey, did you end up posting that video? I said, yeah. And they're like, when? And I'm like, oh, like 2 weeks ago. And they're like, and you didn't tell anyone? Didn't post it anywhere? Didn't tell the people you live with, the people you work with? Zero. And I thought about why that was. And initially it was, oh, well, you know, I just didn't want to seem cringe, or was afraid of what the people might think or whatnot. And truth is, it wasn't for that. It's because I didn't feel like what I said was the complete truth. So that's why I'm making this video. Because working in the media space for years now, especially making content for someone that, again, does content, so much content to help people and inspire people, you obviously get that itch pretty often of like, hey, maybe I should start making my own content. And for me, seeing everything that goes on behind the scenes of what makes a great piece of content great, I didn't want to double my workload, if not more, because I don't have a whole team to rely on. It'd be just me to do the same for myself. And looking at some creators like Iman Ghazi, for example, if you go on YouTube and sort by oldest, his first video is a montage of him training, not even talking, on a not great Canon camera with just music of him training. Like it's 4 minutes. And then as you start going back up, talking to the camera, vlogging a little bit, and he documents his journey, and that's what I'm doing here. So this is not shot like the video I shot 3 weeks ago, that with the laptop camera, lights, you're probably looking at a $20,000 setup, at least. This is shot with an iPhone. No microphone, no fancy light, just me on the balcony with a view at sunset. And this is for me. As much as I wanted to look good and, you know, I want the packaging to be pretty from the outside, the truth is I'm making this for me. And I know my skills and knowledge in the media space, and so my limiting belief was that if I work in media for years and I can create all this great content with the help of a team and amazing people, as an editor, and then I make my own videos that have zero fancy thumbnails, zero editing, that is not shot on any professional gear whatsoever, that is not scripted, that does not have great storytelling at all, and then that video gets 8 views, then who the heck am I to talk about content? But I'm not making it for other people. I'm making it for me. So this is gonna be as raw as it gets. And that's the reason why I'm making this YouTube channel. So, to look back on, quick status pro quo. I now live in beautiful Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada, the north. It is beautiful out here. We have a beautiful lake. I currently live with a great friend of mine. He bought this townhouse last year at 22, 23 years old, which is wild, especially for the prices of things in Kelowna. And yeah, so I live here, and I just came back tonight from viewing an apartment, and I'm looking into getting a place to live completely solo for the first time ever, which is quite exciting. And yeah, I just want to be by the water, live on my own, and have my own spot, and in a sense prove to myself that I can make it. Yeah, little backstory. I at 17, I believe, or 18, I think I was about to turn 18, without telling my parents, I lived with them at the time, I found an apartment with a buddy of mine that I barely knew, signed a lease, and paid the deposit. We went to store, got everything we would need, towels, cutlery, like everything, right? Started looking at furniture, all that sort of stuff. Didn't tell my parents at all. And the day before I was supposed to move in with this guy, I tell my parents, hey, I'm moving out tomorrow. And it hit him. And there's a few reasons why that was. One, for your kid that you've raised and lived with for 18 years to tell you, hey, I'm moving out tomorrow, and you're not going to see me anymore, barely. It'll definitely hit you very hard. And two, and the reason why I was very scared, is I had no job. I was freelancing, as some people would call it, aka making no money for a long amount of time. So I had barely any money, zero predictable, and a little bit coming in, but not nearly enough to make rent, which the apartment we got was like dirt cheap. It is a third of the price of what I went to see tonight that I'm considering, heavily considering. And so, told my parents, they started crying, I started crying, they didn't want me to leave. I was very scared. And yeah, I ended up telling this guy 3 days in, hey man, hate to do this to you, but I can't afford to move out with you. So I stayed with my parents. Didn't even move out, anything, pack, nothing. But you know, didn't want to leave him hanging dry. So with the help of my parents, who actually covered it for me because I asked them, I paid rent to this guy for the first 3 months, even though I never even lived there at all. And that came out of my parents' pockets, that I eventually, over time, I think only 2 years later, was able to pay them back. Yeah, that was just before I was about to turn 18, I think, or at 18. And yeah, so I'm pretty excited for moving out on my own, doing so comfortably in a place that's way better than where I was gonna move out 2, 3, 4 years ago. So that's on the living situation. The current car I drive a Civic 2015. It's actually right there. I'll show you real quick. What a beauty. She is quite sustainable. I bought it cash when I was 15. Yeah, before I even had my license, I bought the car. Just because I was excited to, you know, be on my own and be able to drive and have my own car and, you know, provide for myself in a sense. And yeah, that's where we're at. Last day of June of 2025. And we're doing good right now. The best position I've ever been, for sure. Just over a year ago, I packed my bags and moved across the country, like 3,000 miles or so, knowing maybe a handful of people here. And now I've made some really incredible connections, and I'm way more confident and comfortable in who I am. In the last year and a half or so, come to find God, October 8th, 2023. Is the day that I went to church for the first time. And not everything changed like that. Still old habits and old ways of being that are sometimes hard to get rid of or to change about yourself. So, you know, still working through some stuff, always. And yeah, I got a good group of people around me though. Very hard to beat. Very hard to beat. So, thanks for sticking around. And yeah, whether this video only gets 3 views and I end up being all 3 of those views, I'm making this for me. So, like it, don't like it. You can be a fan of it, not a fan of it. I don't care. I don't care. So, on that note, stay tuned.